A father and son who just had an epic karate fight got raided by an organization called G-Corp. They fight off the evil military robots, but midway through, the son grabs his father's bald dome and throws him at the evil robots who jump him and set off a time bomb. The son is about to dip, but not before pulling this face. This is the average Mishima father-son bonding moment. The Mishima family. It all starts with Jinpachi, a very successful and powerful man. He is the head of the famous Mishima Zaibatsu, a business mainly known for its creation of weapons. He expanded the corporation into an industrial empire by capitalizing on military demand during World War II. It is said that he regretted this decision, which shows that Jinpachi isn't necessarily a good guy, but also not necessarily a evil guy. Jinpachi is a martial artist and had his own dojo called the Mishima Dojo. And this is where he trained martial arts with his students Kazumi Hachio and Heihachi Mishima, who's also his son. And do you know what his son did when he got older? He married this girl Kazumi. She changed her name to Kazumi Mishima and they had a child. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Oh, he also imprisoned his father Jinpachi in the basement underneath Mishima Dojo to take over the business Mishima Zaibatsu, causing Jinpachi to starve to death. Mishima father-son bonding. Heihachi Mishima. He's married to Kazumi, but there's something he doesn't know about his own marriage. There was a clan that had a prophecy about a boy who would grow up and be very evil. This clan uses a devil gene. They sent one of their young members to the Mishima Dojo. The plan was for her to train alongside, grow up, and marry this boy and eventually kill him using her devil gene. This girl was Kazumi, and this boy was Heihachi. The day Kazumi attempts to kill Heihachi comes, and she gets her ass whooped. When it comes to hands, Heihachi doesn't play. Anybody can get it, especially people with the devil gene. He hates them. He's a racist. He whooped her ass so bad, the Hachio clan didn't even come to make things right. They went into hiding like it was World War II and they were Jewish. His 5-year-old son Kazuya finds out, and he does want to set things right by doing the most anime thing and challenging his father to a fight to get revenge for his mother. Meanwhile, all Heihachi is thinking is, if that bitch had the devil gene, this little fucker might have it too. So he said, Kazuya, I'm gonna try something here. Just don't freak out. Why did he do that? Is what you might be thinking. What he told Kazuya was that he was weak and needed to prove himself to be a worthy successor by surviving the fall. But the real reason is to test if he had the devil gene. If he did survive, he had it. If he didn't survive, he didn't have it. So if he would have died, you would have been responsible for the death of your innocent 5-year-old son. If he survives, you have a son with a devil gene who's probably gonna hate you forever. It's what you and I are thinking both. But the reality is, this is just Mishima father-son bonding. Kazuya Mishima. As an adult, Kazuya joined a lot of fighting tournaments, and in one of these tournaments, he met another fighter, a woman named Jun Kazuma. They did a adult thing. Some say it was without consent. And 9 months later, this came out. Yeah, that's exactly what came out of Jun's vagina, a edit of Jin Kazuma, Kazuya's first son. So what kind of father was Kazuya? Well, he wasn't abusive, that's good. He also wasn't aware of Jin's existence at all, which is also good, I suppose. Because when he did, he wanted to fucking kill him. This reminds me of somebody.
I will never consider you one of my authentic children like that. And if I do, based off genetics, I might just use you as a workhorse.
But before Jin comes in the picture, Heihachi and Kazuya have some more wholesome moments. For instance, one of the tournaments Kazuya would join would be Heihachi's Iron Fist Tournament 1, where he went up against Heihachi in the finale and he won. And do you know what he did? You know what? I want you to guess. A. He forgave him. B. He trash-talked him. C. He took him to a cliff, threw him off, then turned to the camera and gave a smile. If your answer was A, he forgave him, you were wrong. Heihachi survived that, by the way. So when Kazuya hears about the Iron Fist Tournament 2, he goes back to finish unfinished business. And he made it to the finals with Heihachi again and turned into his devil form this fight, but somehow still lost. So what Heihachi decided to do was, I'll let you guess. A. He forgave him. B. Mishima father-son bonding. Kazuya survived that, by the way. G-Corp, which is a similar business to Mishima Saibatsu, took Kazuya after the fall and did experiments on his devil gene, causing him to resurrect. And he now is a sorta G-Corp agent, if you will. Let's now check in on Jin Kazama. Jin grew up and trained martial arts with his mother until his mother got bodied by an ogre. But before dying, she told Jin to go to his grandfather, Heihachi, if anything ever happens to her. And he did that, and continued training with Heihachi for a while. But why did Heihachi take Jin in, knowing that he's Kazuya's son and likely has the devil gene inside him? It all goes back to the ogre. So there were stories going around about this powerful ancient monster brought to Earth in ancient times by creatures from outer space. They called this monster Ogre. This legend caught Heihachi's interest, and he sent the Tekken Force to search the world for this ogre. At some point, the Tekken Force searches some temple located in Mexico and never come back. After Heihachi arrived there himself, he sees that the entire Tekken Force got bodied. This could only mean one thing: they found and somehow awakened Ogre. After seeing what power Ogre holds, Heihachi wanted to capture him in hopes of creating the ultimate life form. This means that Heihachi is responsible for the awakening of Ogre. That also means he's responsible for the death of many fighters, and also the incident that happened to Jin and his mother. So Heihachi uses Jin's want for revenge and trains him to beat Ogre so that he can achieve his goal of capturing Ogre. Jin discovers this. He hates Heihachi now. They fight in the Iron Fist Tournament arena, and in the middle of the fight, Ogre appears. Jin fights and kills Ogre. But in Jin and Ogre's fight, Heihachi noticed the presence of the devil gene inside Jin, which confirms that the devil gene does reside in Jin. Plus, Jin has already outlived his usefulness after killing Ogre, which makes Heihachi stop being the nice grandpa and go racist mode. Oh shit! There's the Heihachi I know. Mishima grandfather-son bonding. Jin survived that, by the way, thanks to the devil gene. So Jin dipped, but around 2 years later, Heihachi starts the Iron Fist Tournament 4. And guess who's back? Back again. Jin is back for revenge. His grandfather shot him in the fucking head. That was crazy. Since when do they have guns in Tekken? All this time, Heihachi thought Kazuya was dead. I mean, that's what I would think if I threw someone in a volcano. He found out about the resurrection of Kazuya while raiding the G-Corp building for the devil gene he discovered they had and wanted. But he still wants Kazuya dead. So to get Kazuya out of his hole, he tells Kazuya about his son, Jin, hoping to get 2 birds in 1 stone at this tournament. And this is when Kazuya finds out he has a son. Mishima father-son bonding. And all Kazuya wants to do is kill him to use his devil gene to make his own stronger, so he joins the tournament. But right before the fight, Jin vs Kazuya, Heihachi sends Mishima's Tekken Force to capture Jin with magical anti-devil gene chains. Heihachi then grabs Kazuya and says, "Look at what I got for you. It's Jin, hung up with chains." Kazuya says, "What the fuck, this is some freaky shit even for you." Up until now, everything's going according to Heihachi's plans. Heihachi's plan was to get Kazuya in a trap and have them both chained up. But Kazuya started tweaking, and Heihachi got freaked out.
20年前貴様に殺されかけた時に分離した我が半身をこやつから取り戻す今こそ我が復活の時
Can somebody call a Uber? I gotta get the fuck out of here. So we learned that Kazuya has lost some of his devil power when he got yeeted off the cliff as a child, and needs to retrieve this lost part to reach his fullest potential. So Kazuya wanting to kill Jin is not a hateful act, it's a power-hungry driven act. Jin escapes his chains, whoops both of their asses, almost finishes off Heihachi to take his revenge, but then sees his mother's spirit and tells himself that he's better than this, then dips. Mishima grandfather, father, son bonding. This is when G-Corp, who Kazuya thought were on his side, jumped them both. And this when Kazuya did this. Kazuya pulls up on G-Corp after they pull that. He takes out all the executives and becomes the head of G-Corp. Heihachi dies in the explosion, but the same explosion frees Jinpachi, Heihachi's father, who starved to death under the Mishima dojo but got resurrected by some devil gene, so he was just in there waiting all this time. When he finally got free, he started the Iron Fist Tournament 5, hoping to find somebody strong enough to defeat him and stop the Mishima bloodline. Funny how their role got filled by a Mishima family member. Jin goes up against Jinpachi and kills him in that fight, freeing him from his possession and leaving only Kazuya to be the last Mishima alive. These two seem like the only decent one out of the bunch, so I can't believe I'm saying this about a great-grandson killing his great-grandfather. But this might be the only genuine wholesome moment up until now. Not sure if wholesome is the right word, but it's the closest thing to wholesome we're gonna get. So screw it, wholesome. Mishima great-grandfather, great-grandson bonding. With both Heihachi and Jinpachi not being here and Kazuya being over at G-Corp, Jin is next in line to be the head of Mishima Zaibatsu. And what does Jin do in his position of power? Jin starts a war to conquer the world, but hold on, it's okay, it wasn't about conquering the world. It was to lure out an evil entity or monster similar to Ogre that telepathically contacted Jin called Azazel so he could kill it. It basically said evoke hatred and evil into the world and I will awaken or something like that, which Jin did with his war. So he's actually a superhero like Goku. What makes this act heroic in Jin's mind is Jin is one of the only people with the devil gene which you need to kill Azazel. He's also one of the strongest in history, so it is better to awaken and kill him now, even if it's at the cost of innocent lives, to avoid him from awakening after Jin passes, because if that happens, it could be the end of humanity. Kazuya, who's the head of G-Corp, responds with, hey, that's my thing. I want to conquer over the world. So he also starts a war. Remember how Heihachi died in that explosion? He survived, by the way. And when Heihachi discovered that Jin was now the head of Mishima Zaibatsu, he put up on Jin to get his CEO status back. But got his ass whooped and spared by Jin again. As Azazel awakens, Jin kills it like he plans, then Jin goes missing. No, not our Jin. Come back. We need you, Jin Kazama. Heihachi goes to the Mishima Zaibatsu headquarters and kind of forces his position back since Jin is still missing. He then broadcasts himself and announces the Iron Fist tournament, then cancels it later. But Kazuya has already seen his dad, who he killed 2 times, broadcasting. How would you feel if you saw your dad, who you just bodied, broadcast on Twitch? What would you do? You know what Kazuya would do? Death battle! But this time with insanely sick music and flashback. Until Kazuya lands the finishing blow and we see Heihachi drop. You won't believe what Kazuya did next. Mishima father-son bonding. Before we check back in on Jin, I like to let you know that prior to Kazuya's and Heihachi's fight, Kazuya's devil form had been exposed to the world. This was Heihachi's doing, unsurprisingly. He hit Kazuya with a Kamehameha from a Mishima Zaibatsu space satellite and broadcasted it, while Kazuya was fighting Akuma, who was asked to kill Heihachi and Kazuya by Kazumi before she died. Mother, father, son bonding. But I don't think Kazuya's devil form being exposed did much to Kazuya besides Kazuya not having to hide it anymore. Let's check back in on Jin. Jin may have killed Azazel, but the world isn't free of war thanks to Kazuya, who is still going strong. So eventually, Jin was found and his friends said, Jin, you can't start a war, then let Kazuya out of all people win. Everybody's relying on Jin because he and his devil form are the only thing that can compete against Kazuya. So Jin teams up with them to use his devil gene to stop Kazuya. So it's time. It's time to play the game. Jin pulls up on Kazuya with his motorcycle. They fight in their devil form. But then Kazuya goes Vegeta mode and blasts Jin off of land. Jin wakes up and can't turn into his devil Jin form anymore because he despises the devil gene? Meanwhile, Kazuya is stronger than ever. Kazuya starts a Iron Fist tournament because according to him, people forgot what fighting is about or some shit like that. But the real goal was to resurrect Azazel, who is apparently the original devil that started the devil gene in humans thing. And a part of Azazel was sealed in Savina's arm, who appeared in the Iron Fist tournament. He snatched Savina up, broke that seal part open, and Azazel appears. How Kazuya came up with this plan or how he knew this worked, I'm guessing Azazel's spirit contacted Kazuya like it contacted Jin before. What Azazel didn't expect, however, is that Kazuya would kill him right after to take his devil gene. Now Kazuya has finally retrieved the devil power he lost as a child, and unlocked his true devil form, making him even stronger while Jin still can transform. Kazuya already was Homelander on crack. Now he's Homelander on more crack. To fix his transforming issues, Jin goes into his Naruto Sage Mode arc, dealing with the past, his mother guiding him or some shit like that if I remember correctly. Death battle! But this time, their devil form has more drip. They fight, then they fly, then they fight on the ground again, then they fight in space. Ground again. Ab City, bitch. Ab City, bitch. Ab City, bitch. Ab City, bitch. They do that thing where they punch each other at the same time, but only one drops to the ground. Kazuya. Let's blame that on his age. Jin then decides to, no, I want you to guess. A. He went to a cliff, enjoyed the view while letting his victory for the world and himself soak in. Touch a flower, thank his mother, and rode his motorcycle. Yes, that's the only option because that's exactly what he did, and he's cool as shit for that. Oh, and remember how Kazuya threw Heihachi into a volcano? He survived, by the way. When I look back now, I realize something. The Hachio clan didn't fix anything at all. They made everything worse by getting this devil gene thing anywhere near Heihachi. The Mishima family is stable.